players palagi. So, dumating sa point na napapansin namin bakit walang rotation of judges, bakit parang natatakot yung iba mag-judge. And yeah, that's why we created Judge Like a Pro para uh, for us to teach new judges and expand more knowledge on the Beyblade X judging duties. So good evening po to everyone, and thank you for representing your communities. We're very sorry na we cannot invite everyone, so we really had to choose one per community na nag-register for the link. And I hope that you get to share the presentation right after. Siguro before kayo mag-start ng weekly tournament nyo, makapag-brief muna kayo ng judges using the presentation that we have provided sa Busy announcement channel. And we also provided the 8th edition English version along with it. Yeah. So, ayun. So, I'll be your, I guess, head trainer for tonight. And let's use the JLAP chat. Tapos, merong parang sub-forum doon na JLAP Session 1. So, chat lang tayo dyan if you have any questions. But it's better that we put the questions aside muna. And let's walk through the presentation first. So, ayun. So, let's G. So, if you can see my screen right now, may QR code dyan. That's the QR code for the presentation. You can share it now with your fellow co-judges. Tapos, the Judge Like a Pro presentation is updated for 8th edition. We understand na may 9th edition na, but it's just a minor change lang naman regarding the lock chip rule. We'll cover that in a while. So, yun. And by the way, we're also partnered with PBBL. So, approved kami ni Komish. We're the ones who facilitate the judging uh, training for PBBL. So, if you're interested in becoming a PBBL judge in the near future, this is actually your parang head start for it. So, yun. So let's go for the overview ng presentation. So we have Judging 101. We also have the judges checklist. We have examples and then scoring system. So pretty basic stuff from slide 3 to 12. And then moving to 13 towards 22, medyo advanced topics na yan for judging. And I just wanted to also put a big disclaimer na the presentation is just a guide. So hindi siya yung parang gagamitin niyo as pinaka-basis when you make certain decisions. You have to always use yung regulations ng Takara Tomy. So, whatever is stated sa regulations, yun lang po yung ifa-follow niyo. Wag niyo na po siguro itanong pa kung what if ganito, paano kung ganyan. Ah, Whatever is stated po dun sa regulations, yun na po talaga yung final. Alright. So yun. Um, let's go for Judging 101. So, did you know the Philippines is one of the few countries that require a recording device to judge a Beyblade X match? I have friends sa Singapore. They shared to me na hindi talaga sila nagamit ng any phone to facilitate Beyblade X judging doon. And then, I think one of the countries na nagvi-video talaga is South Korea, I think Malaysia din, Indonesia. But for the rest, aside from the Philippines, ay hindi nagamit ng recording device. So, yun. Let's mute lang po muna. Alright. And then, for responsibilities of judges, at least basic knowledge of the scoring system of Beyblade X. make accurate calls for first occurrence and have launch time awareness, and conduct checking of Beyblade decks for modified, non-original Beyblades and repeating parts. So, yung gusto ko i-highlight dito is yung second line, which is first occurrence and launch time awareness. So, even if you're just new in judging Beyblade, ito lang naman talaga yung pinaka-importante. Dapat alam mo yung first occurrence na golden rule at saka yung launch time awareness. And then for the tools, of course, recording device, preferably phones that can shoot at 60 FPS or higher. And of course, dapat may enough storage space ka. Tapos ang gagamitin yung video mode sa phone is yung default. So, hindi yung slow-mo, hindi yung time-lapse. So, yon. The reason why is because kapag kasi na slow-mo nyo yung phone, slow-mo mode, nade-delay na din yung audio, which is used to identify kung early or late launch ka. So, dapat kung ano man yung default video mode, yun lang po talaga yung gagamitin niyo. I suggest if walang parang playback feature na smooth yung phone nyo, you can install yung tinatawag na MX player na app. I think available siya sa Android. So, yun ang usually namin ginagamit for Android devices para smooth yung playback or slow-mo. Then of course, optional is the scoreboard. Ayun. So guys, pa-check ng mga mics nyo po. Yung paki-mute na lang po muna. Thank you. So again, scoreboard, this is purely optional. So just for convenience to show each player's points in a match. We also have the notepad and score sheet. So there are some communities na they love to track yung mga ilang spin finish, ilang burst finish. So, yun. So, it's an optional tool din naman. But of course, again, ang pinaka-importante naman talaga is yung recording device. And then, judges checklist. So, pre-match, of course, confirm player attendance for the match. Pakitanong kung sino yung maglalaban talaga. And then, initiate rock, paper, scissors for players to pick sides. And then, bay check for modified or repeating parts. So, initiate first bay and show bay. Players must present top and bottom parts slowly. So, if masyadong mabilis yung pag-show bay ng ibang tao, you have the power to tell them na baka pwede bagalan pa nila or pakiayos yung pag-show bay. Usually kasi parang ano lang parang minamadali nila para hindi makita agad ng opponent kung ano yung parts. When in reality, it's a requirement talaga na malaman ng opponents yung gagamitin mong Beyblade for that specific match. And then, confirm if players will do a test launch, which is very common dito sa Philippines. Sa ibang countries, usually wala na talagang test launch. And then, ito yung situational doon regarding Shobei. For any parts that have mode change mechanics, ask players to declare the mode before battle. Players can change its mode on its next battle. However, they must continue using the same mode if a relaunch is needed. So, example dun is Transpoint Bit and yung Turn Assist Blade. So, ito yung modes na talagang manual mo ginagamit or pinapaltan. So, if halimbawa naka-high mode yung Transpoint and you want to switch it to low mode, uh, kailangan mo ipakita sa judge and opponent na i-switch mo to low mode. So, after switching the mode, then ipakita nyo ulit doon sa judge and opponent. And then, itong did you know, actually, for 9th edition, may exemption na siya. So, for CX lock chips, pwede 3 of the same design sa isang deck. Pero once meron kang Valkyrie Metal Lock Chip, isa lang na gano'n yung pwede sa isang deck. So, keep an eye out for that then. And then, for judges checklist, syempre during the match, start recording and then call out bladers ready. Then check player stances and launchers for any obstructions. Distance and height of a launch must be shot from a height of 20 centimeters or less above the stadium body. Usually, ang best practice dito is once both players ay nakahawak na sa mga handle ng launchers, pwede ka na, pwede ka na mag-call ng bladers ready. And then begin countdown of 3, 2, 1, go, shoot. And make sure that it is easy to follow. So, mayroong mga judges na mabilis magbilang, meron namang sobrang bagal magbilang. Yung recommendation actually ni Takaro Tomy is yung gayahin yung sa anime, yung matagal talaga na 3, 2, 1, go, shoot. But, of course, hindi naman lahat ng players gusto ng talagang anime-like na call out. So, just make sure na clear yung 3, 2, 1, go, shoot. Pinaka-importante yung delay from go and shoot. Kasi doon yun mapapansin kung merong early or late launch talaga. So, yan. And then, once both Beyblades have launched, advise players to keep a safe distance, one step away from the stadium to avoid any physical accidents or mga accidental na parang natakid yung stadium, whatever. And then, if you're having trouble deciding a call, even after reviewing the match recording, you may consult the head judge if available, co-judges, or TO. And then, of course, repeat until may manalong player. And then, post-match, of course, ask the name of the winning player to keep track na accurate yung tournament standings and initiate player handshakes. So, with regards to bullet number 2, ito yung mga few examples. So, distance and height of a launch must be shot from a height of 20 centimeters or less above the stadium body. So, if renuller nyo yun, ito yung parang visual guide kung hanggang saan yung taas dapat ng pag-launch. There are certain launch techniques na parang tinatalbog yung launcher grip during 3, 2, 1, go, shoot. So, to ensure na fair sa opponent, dapat yung pag-angat ng launcher is within the required height pa rin. Meron din launches na parang anime style na pabaliktad. So, yung Beyblade yung sa ibabaw. And then, bigla nila parang 180 degree yung pag-flip ng launcher. So, dapat yung height pa rin ng technique na yun is within 20 centimeters or less. If nakita nyo yung player na parang nagbibilang ka pa lang, pero inaangat na niya agad yung launcher, you can stop counting and remind the player na dapat within 20 centimeters lang yung taas niya. This height is followed while you are counting. So, yun yung parang pinaka-basis. And then, yung mga, I guess, we can say illegal na distances is itong 3 pictures. So, ayun, distance and height of a launch of player B is beyond the height of 20 centimeters. So, if super taas, don't start counting and ikaw na mag-adjust ng height ni player. So, cross. And then, merong distance and height of a launch of player A is away from the shooting area. The shooting area is yung bilog na butas. So, if the player is starting to launch outside the shooting area, wag kayo mag 3, 2, 1, go shoot. Make sure na dapat nasa loob siya ng butas. And then, distance of a launch of player B is already grounded inside the stadium. The bit is touching or too close to the floor. Meron siyang rule dito sa regulations. Ayun, undershooting method number 8. Do not shoot your Beyblade while keeping it grounded in the stadium. So, this is uh, this is common sa mga CDG users. As long as may airtime pa rin naman yung Beyblade from the launch, okay lang naman. Pero wag yung sobrang sobrang liit na ng clearance ng airtime na babaksak agad siya doon sa floor. So, at least acceptable na height sana yung pag pag-launch ng gano'n. So, I have a quick question here. Let me solo everyone. How about yung nasa video last time na nasa labas yung launcher pero pasok sa shoot yung hila niya? Again, dapat within the counting of 3, 2, 1, go shoot, both hands should be inside the shooting area po. So, I understand na may mga highlight videos po talaga na nagpapakita ng gano'n. But, uh, since we're here, we have to understand na yung pinakatama according sa regulations is dapat everyone starts inside the shooting area. Even if manonood kayo ng mga clips from Japan, wala kayong makikitang launches na nagsisimula outside the shooting area. Lahat sila within the shooting area talaga. So, since we're using the Takara Tomy regulations and ito din yung gamit ng mga Hapon, so might as well copy what they are doing po. Ayun. So, yun. So that's for shooting area or shooting distance, judges checklist then. So, let's go to the super basic, which is something na parang kulang sa mga judges na yon. The scoring system. It's very simple lang naman, but most of the time, uh, judges have a hard time understanding kung ano talaga or kanino talaga ibibigay yung point. So let's break down the basics of the scoring system. So spin finish is the moment the spinning speed of the Beyblade drops to 0 in the battle zone. So that's 1 point. Burst finish, 2 points. This occurs when the parts of the opponent's bay detach and separate before your bay. That's 2 points. So this is such as blade, lock chip, main blade, assist blade, ratchet, or bit. So if any one of them ay kumalas uh, from the bay, that's already burst finish. The reason why I shared to you guys na parang nami-mistaken ng mga players na yon, pa-mute po muna. Yan, thank you. So, ayun, again, the reason why I told you guys na parang may mga misconception pa rin yung mga tao na yon is because hindi sila they already count it as burst finish if yung Beyblade ay naikot pa rin pero na-detach na na-detach na yung bit. I think everyone can visualize that. May ganun talagang instances. Halimbawa si DG Elevate, naikot pa rin kahit natanggal na yung bit from the ratchet. So as long as hindi pa nakalas or nase-separate yung bit from CDG, tuloy lang yung laban until mauna yung spin finish or yung burst finish. And then we have knockout or over finish. Another misconception then. The moment the entire bay enters the knockout or over finish zone. Keyword ni Takara Tomy is zone. So hindi siya pocket lang. It's literally the entire area ng over finish or ng extreme finish. So dito nagkakaroon ng parang mga challenges on when to decide kasi merong times na may burst at over finish na sabay nangyari. Pero upon checking sa video, nauna yung burst bago pumasok yung Beyblade sa over finish zone. Or may times na papasok na sa over finish zone si Beyblade 1, then biglang nag-burst si Beyblade 2. So, again, the moment the entire bay enters the knockout or overfinish zone. So meaning, pagpasok niya sa overfinish zone or extreme finish zone, and hindi na siya bumalik, that's already a overfinish or extreme finish. So again, 2 points for overfinish, 3 points for extreme finish. So here's some photos. Wait, mute ko po muna yung isa. Thank you. So overfinish, pictures from Takaro Tomy. Again, one Beyblade is still spinning, the other stopped. That's 1 point. Burst finish is when nakalas yung parts ng Beyblade, 2 points. Knockout or overfinish. So, with what I said earlier, zone, kita nyo naman, they highlighted na hindi lang yung butas, but yung gap din ng corner ng stadium at saka yung parang ridge. So, once it enters, 2 points. Extreme finish, same thing. So, that's from the wall and then yung gap. Checking here, before I move to launch timing, quick questions. How about po pag sticker yung natanggal? Pag sticker lang po yung natanggal, hindi po siya burst. Again, let's follow kung ano yung sinabi ng Takaro Tomy. When the parts of the opponent's bay detach, nagbigay din po ang Takaro Tomy kung anong parts po dapat yon. So kung sticker lang ang natanggal, that's not the burst finish po. And then, what happens if a Beyblade goes out for an overfinish, then comes back upside down but still spinning? Okay, so we can cover that later sa validity of play po. But to answer that quickly, um, walang sinasabi si Takara Tomy na dapat right side up yung Beyblade. So, dapat, if it's still spinning on its tamang direction, which is to the right or to the left, counted pa rin po yung pagbalik. Okay. I think may questions pa. What if nasira yung zero blade during launch per intact ratchet or bit? Ano score nun? So again, let's follow yung definition. Wala pong sinasabi si Takara Tomy na burst finish kapag nasira yung Beyblade. So since intact pa rin naman po yung parts, then that's just spin finish po. So again, yun. So questions like these po, yun po yung parang pinopoint out ko kanina. Kasi there are really some people na gusto parang ilusot pa yung mga definitions nila for what constitutes a burst finish or spin finish. So as long as again, you really have to follow what the regulations say po. Yan. Ano pong decision ng judge kapag parehas nawasak yung blade? Thank you. So, ano pong decision ng judge kapag parehas nawasak yung blade? That depends na po sa TO discretion po kung anong gustong i-call sa ganong scenario. Usually, rare cases naman po yan. But sa TO perspective, relaunch lang naman po.
Same nga yung gadget.
Tapos papalitan na lang po yung ano. Thank you sa pag-mute. Thank you. Ayan. Ayan. So, yan. So, let's hold off the questions po muna and proceed to launch timing. So, for launch timing, players must release their Beyblade on the word shoot. So, once narinig na ni player yung ng shoot, they can already launch their Beyblade. So on shoot, both bays must be launched simultaneously, pass through the shoot area, and touch the stadium. So this is mentioned in regarding battle number 6 ng regulations. If a Beyblade was launched before the word shoot, so early launch siya. And then if a Beyblade is launched with delays after the word shoot, late launch siya. But of course, you have to factor in kung ano yung klaseng launcher na ginagamit nila. So, there is a big misconception kung kailan ka magtatawag ng good launch. Good launch ba if sabay bumaksak yung Beyblade? Or late launch ba kapag late bumaksak yung isang Beyblade? Um, what constitutes a good launch po is sabay nahilan ng players yung launchers nila upon the word shoot, even if may delay yung airtime ng Beyblade na ginagamit nila. This is prominent po sa string versus winder launchers. So, sa string, babaksak pa agad yung Beyblade, but for winder launchers, hindi po. So, again, if sabay naman po sila humila on the word shoot, that's already good po. And then, yun. So, regarding validity of play, so we got the launch timing correct na, but what are the instances na that we can call if legal na yung laban or not? So, a Bay battle will be considered valid once the judge has identified the following. Both Beyblades were launched at the same time. Both Beyblades reached the stadium body, and no errors occurred within the shooting area. So a Beyblade will be considered in play if it keeps its speed in the natural direction of rotation, meaning that it is spinning based on the power given upon launch and assigned rotation. And of course, self KO ruling, if there are occurrences wherein bays are accidentally launched straight to the over or extreme zone or pocket, it will still be called as over or extreme finish awarded to the opposing bay, regardless if it had any contact within the Beyblade or the battle zone. So, syempre may mga house rules tayo in some communities regarding this instance. But if we're going to follow yung official regulations ni Takara Tomy, once pumasok na yung Beyblade sa shooting area and bigla siya na pocket or na extreme, that's already score po sa opponent. So, may instances din na in occurrence wherein a Beyblade exits from the stadium bottom and lands on the flat top part of the cover, tuloy pa yung laban. Player must wait for the Beyblade to naturally fall down, and the winner will only be decided once the Beyblade on top manages to return to the stadium while spinning before any win condition is met. So, may instances po na halimbawa naman ni John Buster si Wizard Rod ng malakas, pero nagland lang siya doon sa shroud ng Beyblade. While the Beyblade is still spinning, wag niyo po kukunin yung mga Beyblades and hayaan lang po na either bumaba yung Beyblade or tumigil na talaga sa taas ng stadium cover. Pero once namatay, halimbawa si John Buster na nagstay sa battle zone at saka bumaba si Wizard Rod, relaunch po siya. Kailangan bumalik ni Beyblade from the cover to the battle zone while spinning pa rin yung kalaban niya. Para maging valid yung laban or yung panalo. Checking a quick questions here. Kay Seijin. Question po, kapag may damage ba yung stadium na buta sa gilid ng pocket, inaalaw pa ba yan sa tournament or kahit takpan po ng tape? That is a tournament organizer question na po. So, if yung TO, alam pong may damage na po yung stadium, before the tournament, dapat yung TO ipalitan na po yung yung stadium para po hindi na po magkaroon ng issues. But if it happens po na during the match na nabutasan, ah, saka lang niyo po palitan yung stadium after ng laban ng Bay 1 or Bay 2. Halimbawa, sa Bay 1 okay pa naman yung stadium, pero pagdating sa Bay number 2, doon nasira yung stadium. So before Bay number 3, papalitan na po niyo yung stadium. For Ellis, question kanina sa ibang chat room. Okay lang po. What if sabay dead spin or stop spin kumalas yung bit kanina yung point? May points or relaunch? Again, kung makikita naman po siya if na slow-mo yon. Usually, mauna po talaga yung dead spin. Based lang po sa experience ko. So, if nag-dead spin both and then biglang kumalas yung bit, since nauna po yung dead spin, spin finish lang po siya. Crappy Coco, considered po ba na nagland na yung bay if tumama sa shroud part sa loob ng stadium? Yes po. I think ang kino-consider niyo po is yung inner part ng shroud. So, ang nakalagay po kasi sa regulations is once it passes through the shooting area, which is again, yung butas po. So, as long as nasa loob po yung impact ng bay, regardless if sa floor lang ba siya tatama muna or magba-bounce off from the wall, goods po siya since pumasok po siya ng shooting area. Question po, may 3 seconds to contest po ba pagka-launch? Parang ini-implement po yung count ng 3 seconds. That is a house rule ng mga ibang communities. Pero in reality po, wala pong 3 seconds to contest pagka-launch. Masyadong favorable po siya sa player. Nagiging dating po niyan is dapat player yung masusunod. Ikaw yung judge, 'di ba? Dapat yung judge yung masusunod, hindi yung gusto ng player. So, I'm really not in favor po dun sa house rule na yon kasi again, ang dating po is hindi po nasusunod si judge. Ang nasusunod lang po is yung player. So if you think as a player, may nangyari upon launch, you need to immediately call it out. I think nakalagay din naman siya sa regulations na if merong shooting errors, you have to inform the judge on the spot. Hindi yung magwe-wait ka pa ng 3 seconds. Kasi anything can happen agad in those 3 seconds. So, halimbawa, nagbibilang pa lang si judge ng 3 seconds tapos biglang may na-burst or na-pocket tapos saka mo siya i-contest. Super pangit siya tignan. Kasi dapat, again, immediately nyo po kino-call out yung ganon. But, again, since house rule siya, it's up to you kung gusto nyo gamitin siya. But if you're, for me, hindi ko po talaga siya, advice i-apply. Sir Ellis, also, paano yung pagpitik ng pocket or extreme kalaban pero yung last pitik na yung nag-dead spin? Again, kung ano pa yung unang mangyayari. Kung una po ba na dead spin before na pocket or na pocket na saka nag-dead spin. Yun po yung basis. Snaku, question lang po. If tumama po yung string ng launcher po sa stadium during launch, anong call po doon? We can discuss that dito sa relaunch clause. I'll put that on the side muna. What, Sir Poy? Okay. I think ito din, mako-call din po ng later part po ng presentation. June Paul, pag nag-call na si judge tapos nag-contest si player, yes po, best practice po talaga na ipakita nyo po yung video sa player. Tapos Seijin, question po, ano po maganda gawin if yung player nasilip yung Beyblade ng kalaban na gagamitin pa lang before first bay, nakita ng ibang players din, then nagpalit siya, anong call pa ng ganyan? For this one po, wait lang. No-note ko lang po muna yung ano, yung ibang questions dito. Okay. So going back, if nagkasilipan po ng deck and bigla nagpalit si player, usually iwa-warning ko siya muna. Pero if inulit niya ng inulit, then you can call for disqualification po. As much as possible, then dapat, di ba kasi may mga deck case na inuuna yung design bago yung number ng 1, 2, 3. So dapat i-verify mo muna sa player kung ano yung 1, 2, 3 niya para mabantayan mo din kung ano yung dudukutin niya. Honestly, okay lang naman sa akin if nasilip yung Beyblade ko kasi eventually naman ipapakita ko naman yung Beyblade na gagamitin ko. Ang mapangit lang talaga diyan is bigla niyang isha-shuffle pag nakita niya yung Beyblade. So kung ano man yung order na sinet niya and regardless if nakasilip siya or hindi, dapat yun na yung ifa-follow. So to visualize, halimbawa, ako si player A and then si player B, ako nagsha-shuffle pa lang ng deck. Ginawa ko Wiro, John Buster, then AP. Then si player B, nakita niya na Wiro, John Buster, AP yung gamit ko. So ginawa niya, inuna niya si CDG, then si Wiro, and then si John Buster. So, pa-mute po. Thank you. So, at yun yung ang hindi ko i-allow kasi since na-set naman niya originally na ibang pestuhan ng Beyblade niya, then saka siya bigla nagpalit nung nakita niya yung sequence ko. Yun ang usually ipapa-call out ko as a judge. Yan. So yan, I hope medyo clear siya. Pero of course, mayroong mga practices naman to prevent it. Halimbawa, ipa-shuffle niyo muna yung Beyblade ng both players, then ikaw yung kukuha mismo from the deck case. So, there will always be preventive measures that you can do in order to avoid yung mga ganong dayaan. And then for Nevir, actually nag-PM pa siya. Hello, ask ko lang, how will we know if the spin of the bay is dead spin? Again, ipa-follow nyo po yung regulations ni Takara Tomy. The moment the spinning speed of the bay drops to 0 in the battle zone, and yung isang part po dito is a Beyblade will be considered in play if it keeps its speed in the natural direction of rotation. So, if it stops, then dead spin siya. If biglang pahina na yung spin niya, then biglang bumaliktad yung ikot, then dead spin na po siya. Ayan. So, that's for validity of play. Let's set again yung questions aside po for later. Let's move on to warning system. So for warning system, 2 warnings for any of the following reasons during each bay match will result in 1 point given to the opponent. A judge must be firm in issuing warnings due to the following clauses: late or early launch, and then shooting errors. Pwede nyo din i-warn si player for any inappropriate behavior. And disqualifications may be imposed for any inappropriate behavior towards judges or players throughout the entire tournament. Please consult your head judge or tournament organizers for such instances. So, to expand further, late and early launch and shooting errors, this is the next slide. So, relaunch clause, Relaunch must take place due to a number of instances, and warning may or may not be imposed depending on the determined event. It is important to note that players must continue using the same Beyblade even if multiple relaunches have been required. Players will only proceed to the next bay once a winner has been made. And again, players may call for a relaunch given that they requested immediately and before the match ends. So again, to expand further late and early launch and shooting errors, ito yung tatlong slides na according sa regulations. Delayed launch or late launch. So a shoot before the judge calls shoot is considered a premature or early launch, while a shoot after the call has been completed is considered as a delayed or late launch. So the judge has the right to immediately stop the match should they see an obvious early or late launch. Once reviewed, one warning will be granted to the violating player. So, merong mga judges na i-check pa kung late or early pa once natapos na yung laban. Uh, it's an okay practice, pero super nagpapatagal siya ng event, lalo na kung major event siya na ang daming players, ang daming rounds, tapos nagtatagal yung isang stadium nang dahil lang sa for checking, ganun. So if obvious naman na nakita nyo na napaaga yung hila ni player or napalit yung hila ni player, immediately stop the match. Hindi pwede magalit si player na pinatigil mo agad yung laban kasi ikaw yung judge. And um, you have every right to make sure that both players launch on the same time. Yun ay for fair play na din naman for both players. So, if usually ang basis ko dyan is yung tunog. So, I don't look sa camera. I look in person with my own eyes yung pag-launch ng players. So, if nakita ko na napaaga yung hila ni player A, stop ko agad. If nakita ko na late si player B, stop ko na agad. Kasi, kita ko siya mismo gamit ng mata ko. May mga judges kasi na super dependent pa sa video. But you have to take note na the video is only for double checking. If sure ka naman na late or early lunch, you can just stop the match immediately. And then, yun. So that's for early or delayed launch. Then we have shooting error, which is madaming kinds. So stadium hit is determined when a player hits the stadium cover while launching. So either with their launcher or ng Beyblade, immediate relaunch siya and then warning will be granted. Aerial or mid-air collision, no warning is to be issued if the base collided before they touch the stadium. The judge has the right to immediately stop the match if halata yung aerial ng isang Beyblade. However, if the cause of an aerial hit was due to a late or early launch, a warning will be issued under late or early launch. So, yun. Ang key note dito is kung kasalanan ba ng player dahil aerial siya or hindi. If hindi naman kasalanan ni player na nag-aerial, relaunch lang na no warning. Pero if kasalanan ni player na nag-aerial, warning siya. And ang by kasalanan, again, ang chine-check ng kasalanan is if late or early launch siya. And then next, we have physical contact or injury. If a player physically disrupts their opponent's launch due to their launching equipment or accessories, a warning will be given to the violating player and the base will be relaunched. However, if a physical contact caused after a good launch, example, string handle hits the opponent's arm while the Beyblades are in play or natamaan yung stadium, the match will proceed as normal with no warning. So, ang nakita namin practice dito ng mga Japanese judges is that if nagkatamaan kayo during lunch ng kamay, and goods naman yung lapag ng Beyblade, wala naman effect sa mismong laban, tuloy lang yung laban. Wala siyang warning. Pero if may instance na tumama yung bay launchers ng ng ah, player sa isa't isa before pa makababa yung Beyblade, that's already a relaunch na po. Kasi na-change yung outcome or trajectory ng Beyblade kung saan siya intended na bababa. So repeat ko lang. Um, Halimbawa, nagkatamaan ng kamay while launching, pero yung tama ng kamay is after bumaba ng bay and goods naman yung landing ng Beyblades, good launch siya. But if nagkatama ng kamay while launching and hindi pa nakakababa yung Beyblade, that's already a relaunch. You can call for a warning, pero mahirap din kasi i-identify kung sino yung naunang magkatamaan. Usually, a warning is called if may intention talaga si player na tamaan yung kamay ni opponent. So, yun. And then for out of bounds bay, if any of the Beyblades jumps out of the stadium at any point of the match at hindi na bumalik sa stadium, then relaunch siya with no warning. And then last cause for shooting error is equipment fault. Regarding battle number 3, if the bay does not detach from the launcher during shoot, or if the bay falls off after the judges has called 3, 2, 1, go shoot, it will be considered as a shooting error. So, halimbawa, 3, 2, 1, go shoot. Tapos si player B, hindi nag-launch hindi nag-launch uh, on the word shoot. You can call for a warning kasi considered na siya as shooting error. And if meron namang time na 3, 2, 1, go shoot, pero hindi nahila ni player B kasi nalaglag lang bigla yung Beyblade, shooting error din siya. Ito yung nangyari kay Bird sa anime. So, yung I think kakakuha lang niya kay Hellside. Nag 3, 2, 1 go shoot na yung judge pero nalaglag lang yung Hellside sa launcher. So, nabigyan siya ng warning ng judge sa anime. So that also applies in real life. And then, warning will be issued if the bay does not detach upon shoot or the bay falls off from the launcher. So again, yun. Yung regarding battle number 3. And then, we also have regarding launcher checks number 4. If the judge determines that the launcher, grip, or any parts have been modified or defective, the use of those parts will be prohibited. So upon playing, players must ensure that their equipment is in good condition. Hindi po kayo mag-aalaw ng relaunch dahil defective yung gamit na launchers niya. I think this is very common sense naman as a player. Alam kong sira yung launcher ko, bakit ko pa gagamitin, 'di ba? So, if pinilit ni player na gamitin yung sira niyang launcher, sige hayaan nyo. Pero hindi nyo dapat i-honor yung relaunch request niya. If upon launching and the player feels that their launch is inaccurate or too weak due to their fingers slipping while holding the ripcord or string, resulting in a possibly weak launch, the battle will still proceed as long as the bay maintains its natural spin direction. No relaunch request will be honored. Ito yung mga common na relaunch requests na kino-call out agad nila upon launch. Halimbawa, yung judge nag-call na ng 3, 2, 1, go shoot. Hinila ni player A yung string niya, pero nabitawan niya bigla yung handle. So, yung Beyblade niya is, syempre, bumaksak na from the launcher, lumapag na stadium, pero hindi niya nagustuhan yung ikot ng Beyblade niya. You're not allowed to allow yung Sorry, parang redundant siya. You're not allowed to honor their relaunch request kasi okay naman yung ikot ng Beyblade niya. Magre-relaunch lang siya if talagang pagkabaksak tapos namatay agad yung Beyblade. Which is again in the first bullet. If the Bey falls off after the judge has called 3, 2, 1, go shoot. By falls off, ibig sabihin, wala, bumaksak lang na walang ikot. So, yun. So, I think the relaunch clause is yung pinaka-crucial talaga in tournaments. So, that's why we really made an effort to break down each one of them and identify kung kailan talaga bibigyan ng warning. Ang pinaka-key note nyo again dito is if hindi naman po kasalanan ni player, no warning siya. Pero if kasalanan ni player na late launch siya or early or na aerial, you call for a warning for that. And again, according sa warning system, 2 warnings of any of the reasons during the bay match will result to 1 point. So, if nakadalawang late siya, 1 point. If may isang late and then isang shroud hit, 1 point na din po ulit. Pero syempre, restart po yung warnings to 0 once nabigyan ng 1 point yung isang player. So, going back sa question ni Snaku, if tumama pa yung string lang launcher po sa stadium during launch, good launch lang po siya since hindi naman po siya naka-apekto sa Beyblade. And then, kay Sir P, nag-launch, nagkataman sila ng kamay, then nag-contest si player, hindi nyo i-allow yung invalidated na agad yung contest ni player if goods naman yung baksak ng Beyblade and nagkataman lang sila ng kamay after the Beyblade drops from their launcher. Pero if yung Beyblade ay tumama sa launcher ng kalaban or sa kamay, relaunch lang siya, no warning. And then, kay Seijin, ayun, nasagot ko na pala. Pero, I see 2 people typing. Wait ko lang yung questions nila. So, Sir P, what if po lumabas sa extreme, overfinish, or burst si Bay 1, then halos sabay rin lumabas sa shooting area si Bay 2? Ano pong call doon na i-consider? Ayun, again, yung first occurrence po, yung masusunod. So, if within the stadium pa rin naman po si Bay, nung palabas na siya ng stadium, pero, ay, pamute po muna. Thank you. So, again, if nauna po mapocket si Bay 1 bago lumabas si Bay 2 sa stadium, panalo na po yung lumabas kasi nauna yung pagpasok ni Bay 1. Pero if si Bay 2 ay lumabas na ng stadium, then saka nag-pocket si Bay 1, relaunch po siya. Ang tawag po namin doon is kung may valid winner within the stadium area. So since wala na si Bay 2 sa stadium area nung napocket si Bay 1, then panalo pa then relaunch po siya. Pero once napocket pa si Bay 1, then nasa loob pa rin naman si Bay 2 ng stadium area before lumabas, then panalo na po si Bay 2. And then Catbury Bortito, pamute po Sir Charles. Thank you. Thank you. So, Cat Bortito, hello po, question po. Kunwari po nag-warning 1 sa Bay 1 tapos nag-switch na sa Bay 2. Yes po, restart na po. Once may valid na po na panalo sa Bay 1, restart po yung warnings po sa bay 2. So, ang instance lang po na wala pong instance na maki-carry over po yung warning. Automatic po siya nagre-reset if may valid na panalo or naka 2 warnings na po. So, scenario 1 is, naka 2 warnings na. So, si player A, so reset na siya. Then nag-move na sa next player. Si player 2 naman na nagkaroon ng warning 1, pero may valid naman na nanalo sa bay 2. So, 'pag next bay, sa bay 3, yung warning 1 ni player 2 from bay 2 ay magiging 0 na po. Wala pong instances na naki-carry over po yung warning. And then Sir June, magbibigay po ba ng warning if while 3, 2, 1 pa lang yung call? Dito naman po sa regulations, ang sinabi lang naman po is if the bay does not detach from the launcher during shoot or natapos na yung 3, 2, 1 go shoot, then nalaglag lang yung Beyblade. So, since hindi naman po sinabi ni regulations yung question niyo po, okay lang naman po na walang warning siya. Ayun. So I think that's all for the questions for relaunch clause. Quick example lang for relaunch clause. So regarding battle results number 9, according sa regulations, in the same battle, if there are total of 2 shooting errors or premature launches or delayed launches, 1 point is awarded to the opponent and the battle will be replayed. Once a point is scored, any previous shooting errors, launches, or delayed launches will be nulled. So, I think that part ng regulations answers yung question ni Kat Bortito. And then, ito yung example of scorings with warnings. So, first bay, John Buster versus Wizard Rod. On time si John Buster, pero early si Wizard Rod. One warning kay Wizard Rod. Relaunch. So, John Buster versus Wizard Rod ulit. On time na naman si John Buster, pero late naman si Wizard Rod. So, second warning na kay Wizard Rod, grant 1 point to John Buster, then relaunch. So, wala pa yung valid na
Wait naman po,
nananalo
kakain ako.
sa John Buster versus Wizard Rod, so same bay pa rin. On the second relaunch, sabay na sila, pero na-extreme finish ni John Buster si Wizard Rod. 3 points. So 3 plus 1, 4. A match can be over in just the first bay due to warnings, due to
Bawas
the
ang kutsara.
warnings na binigay sa isang player. So yun. And then, yun. So I hope relaunch clause is clear. For the next part, ito yun na yung mga questions nyo earlier. So we have what we call recovery. Again, ang golden rule po is first occurrence is always considered unless a Beyblade's recovery is valid. So by recovery, this means that when the spinning bay, while maintaining its spin power and proper spinning orientation, propels back from the extreme or over finished pockets, giving the winning player 1 point only. Magiging invalid lang yung recovery once the bay returns to the play area without spin power from its initial acceleration and not in its proper spinning orientation. By spinning orientation, ito po ay kung to the left or to the right pa rin po yung Beyblade. Hindi po ito kung ang bit ay nasa baba or yung bit ay patagilid na or nakabaliktad na yung Beyblade. Ang kinakount po ni recovery is yung spinning movement or motion ni Beyblade. So, ito yung example bullets. Valid recovery, the bay is spinning on its own rotation back to the play area. By own rotation, again, to the left pa ba siya or to the right? Example is Bay A jumps over to the over finished pocket while spinning, while Bay B goes straight to the extreme pocket. After a few seconds, Bay A escapes the over finished pocket while still spinning. Bay A wins 3 points for an extreme finish as the revival is valid. Again, first occurrence is always considered unless valid yung recovery ng Beyblade. Since una yung pocket, then second nangyari yung extreme, on the third instance, bumalik si Beyblade from the pocket to the battle zone while spinning, 3 points na po siya. Since na-invalidate na po yung first na nangyari, ang masusunod na po yung second na nangyari. An invalid recovery naman is the bay is spinning away from its intended rotation back to the play area. Example is Cobalt Dragoon, a left spinning Beyblade, came back to the play area, spinning from the over finished pocket, but to the right instead. So, since nauna si Cobalt Dragon ma-pocket while spinning to the left, then bigla siyang bumalik sa right, spin, uh, returning to the battle area on its second instance, masusunod pa yung first instance kasi to the left pa rin po yung ikot ni Cobalt Dragoon. So again, spinning orientation pertains to
Naka-tig 100 lang
spinning
muna.
pa ba yung Beyblade to the left or to the right? Hindi po kung pabaliktad na siya or not. So, quick question from Aaron. Just to clarify lang po, pati sa extreme finish, pag bumalik yung Bay, considered as revival pa din. Yes. Basta may spinning power at hindi siya yung parang lumusot pa ilalim ng stadium. Hanap lang ang picture. So, yan. Halimbawa, di ba sa stadium ng ng mga extreme zones nila, 'di ba may parang gap from the cover to the floor. 'Di ba minsan nakakalusot pa yung Beyblade sa ilalim. So, if yung Beyblade is hindi naman lumusot sa ilalim ng gap tapos biglang bumalik, valid siya. Pero if yung Beyblade lumusot doon sa gap, then bigla siyang bumalik, invalid na po siya. I think nasa highlights siya ni Pasty or ni Dre. Yung Beyblade lumabas sa extreme pocket tapos tumama sa stand kaya siya bumalik
Nakikinig ako,
ng
huwag ka maingay.
stadium. In reality po, invalid siya. Although it's very cool to see yung ganong moment. If we're following the regulations lang po talaga. Invalid po yung balik niya. So, yun. So, itong picture sa left, yun. So, within the confinement po of the cover, yun po yung valid areas. Same thing po siya if bigla siyang lumusot sa gap ng right or left side ng stadium or ng center. Since hindi naman po siya talaga over or extreme pocket, relaunch lang yan. Or invalid recovery. And then another question po. Ayun, thank you po. So, may certain gap lang to be valid. Yes po. Tama. Ayun. So, that's for recovery. And then, moving to the last parts of the presentation, we have malicious contests. So, this is a coined term by the Beyblade Philippines community, referring to the act of players waiting for a match to conclude before pointing out a mislaunch or shooting error. This is to see if the match ends in their favor first before contesting. So, syempre, I here with us here sa Bazy Generation as a PBBL affiliate and as me personally as a long time competitive Beyblade player. Uh, we aim to promote a healthy and educated community by promoting standardized judging rules and etiquettes. So, here are some ways to avoid honoring malicious contests. So, as a judge, make sure that the angle of your video recording includes each player's hands while launching and has a clear view of the bottom of the stadium. Usually kasi, um, yung mga judges, medyo may mga judges na bitin mag-video, hindi na nakikita yung kamay. So, usually yun ang nagiging lusot ng mga ibang players para mag-contest. May isang example before na nag-contest si player, hindi naman kita yung kamay ko sa video, bakit mo iko-call siya as good lunch or whatnot. Just as much as possible, clear view lang palagi ng ng kamay at yung stadium floor. And then immediately stop a match if you see an aerial hit, missed launch, or any shooting errors. And then announce the appropriate warning. Doon kasi nagkakaroon ng time na mag-isip si player ng anong pwedeng palusot siya if matalo siya. So, if obvious naman na late launch or aerial, stop nyo na po kaagad. And then if you are unsure whether a missed launch happened, you may proceed but inform the players that the video recording will be checked for errors after the match ends to verify. Ang nakikita ko po dito is may mga judges po na nagsasabi lang na for checking. Pero ano yung i-check mo? Yung po yung nagiging lusot ng players. Halimbawa, wala naman sinabi si judge na for checking. Ang na-check lang ni judge tuloy is kung aerial. Tapos bigla magko-contest si player. Hindi yan aerial. Tingnan mo pa yung video. May late lunch dyan, may aerial, may early lunch, or whatever. So, as a judge, sabihin nyo kung ano yung i-check nyo. So, example dyan is 3, 2, 1, go shoot. Okay, checking for aerial, checking for early, checking for late. Tapos, yun lang po yung i-check nyo. If nag-call kayo for checking ng aerial, yung aerial lang po yung titignan nyo. If nag-call po kayo for late or early lunch, yung late lang yung titignan nyo or yung early lang. Kasi, the reason why we want to have that kind of practice is because, syempre, may mga judges dyan na i-check talaga gusto lahat. Kahit ang error lang naman dyan talaga is yung aerial or yung mismong result ng match. Kasi halimbawa, may judge na, oops, for checking, tapos magsasabi siya, okay, good naman yung lapag, check ko ng kung late or early. Nagtatagal lalo ng dahil lang dun sa judge review. So, whatever you called, yun lang po yung i-check nyo kasi nagiging butas na din siya ng ibang player to malicious contest. So, yun. Check ang ibang questions. So, just to clarify from Black Manga, regarding the moment and the entire bay enters the over finish zone. Pag may na-burst and kalahati pa lang sa over extreme shaded zone, considered burst, right? It I think I know what you're trying to ask, pero it really depends po kung ano yung unang nangyari. You can always ask a fellow co-judge kung ano yung decision entirely. Hindi naman po masama mag-call for a second opinion. This is a super case-to-case basis po kasi. So, kung ano man po yung na-decide
Hello,
ng
sir. Excuse me
judges,
lang
yes
po.
po.
Tanong lang po ako.
Opo. Ano po yun?
Ayun, sir. Sorry po. Sir, tanong ko lang po. Si Impact Drake napunta sa extreme tapos kumbaga ano na lang siya, sir. Hindi na umiikot pero nandun sa wala pa siya sa lapag kundi nandun lang sa may extreme na zone lang, sir. So, counted as extreme pa rin po ba yun, sir?
O kasi nasa extreme zone na po siya. Yun. Kung yun,
Thank you, sir.
yun. Alright. No problem. So, tanong lang din yun. It really just depends po kung ano yung magiging call niyo po the black manga sa regarding that scenario. Kasi super case to case basis naman po talaga siya. Hindi din basta ang mafa-follow po palagi is kung ano yung unang nangyari. So, if nag-burst, then saka pumasok sa zone, di burst po muna. Pero if pumasok po muna sa extreme zone, then bigla nag-burst, edi over finish na po siya. And then, Sir Aaron, question po dito, sample scenario, 3, 2, 1, go shoot, all good, walang contest. After a few seconds, quick match lang, na extreme si player 1. Tapos nag-call lang si player 1 ng area, tapos valid yung contest niya. Since mabilis po natapos yung match, okay lang naman po na mag-contest. We cannot control kung gano'ng kabilis or gano'ng kabagal yung isang Beyblade match. Of course, ramdam niyo naman po yun eh, kung masyadong mabilis ba or hindi. If super bilis, you can always entertain any contest and kung ano yung nangyari talaga. June Paul, what if nag-call si judge ng aerial tapos in-stop mo yung match agad for relaunch? Papakita po ba yung video sa player or nang call sa judge ng aerial relaunch? Bigla magsabi si player ng pa-check ng video. Yeah, may times pa na yung players tatanggapin naman yung call kasi syempre everyone wants a fair play. Pero if one player insists na gusto makita yung video, then allow them naman to see the video. Wala naman pong problema doon. Ay, may mga makukulit lang po talagang player na gusto palagi ma-check yung video. Hindi naniniwala sa judge, ganun. But in the end, kayo po kasi yung masusunod. So if the judge calls for checking for aerial, then upon review, you notice late lunch and no aerial. Goods po. Yes po. Since nag-call ka ng aerial lang, pero wala naman talagang aerial, edi hayaan nyo na po matuloy yung laban unless i-contest na po ni player yung immediately kung late or early lunch siya. Ashborn, what if po may nakita kang ibang launching error while checking for aerial, for example po? Yun yung same question po kay John. So, if hindi nyo po nakita yung kinall out nyo po for checking, tuloy lang po. Scrappy Coco, so bawal po na sabihin na for checking lang po. Yes po. Hindi naman siya parang super requirement, pero best practice na po kasi siya. Para lang po talaga ma-avoid yung yung tagal sa pagre-review or yung malicious contest. Mas okay na alam ng players kung ano yung i-check nyo. Sir P, pero pwede naman sabihin na checking for aerial or mismo. Oo naman. Pwede naman po. Wala naman po problema doon. If super bilis again po nangyari, you can always say checking for aerial or whatever. What if pag-review, hindi naman po pala aerial, kumbaga mali lang talaga ng judge. Eh di tuloy po. Kung hindi naman po talagang aerial, and then nag-call ka for aerial, and then minanalo naman pong valid, eh di score na po. Valtier, what if po pinatigil na yung laban kunwari aerial tapos upon review, wrong call yung judge? Panindigan na lang po ng judge yung yung pagtigil ng laban. Tao lang din naman po yung judge, wala naman po talagang perfect na judge. If and of course, dapat maintindihan pa ng player yon na gusto lang naman ng judge na fair yung magiging labag ng both players. So, ayan. Sir Jun Paul, follow up po. Pag nakita na yung video ng aerial call ni Judge per goods pala, then relaunch na lang. And sorry since wala naman result. Pero it depends kung pinatigil ba ng judge agad yung laban or not. So if hindi naman pinatigil ni judge yung yung aerial call at nakuha naman yung buong laban, eh di kung ano man yung mangyari, score na. Again, wala pong perfect na judge. We all have parang we all make mistakes. Ang importante lang po is uh, you take accountability for those mistakes. So, halimbawa, checking for aerial, wala namang aerial, okay, sige, edi next bay. Let's not complicate things na to. So, halimbawa, checking for late, pero wala namang late lunch, edi, tuloy lang. Ayun. And then last part, we have judge and player etiquette. So, before the actual tournament, of course, kung kinuha ka lang bigla as judge, ask the tournament organizer lang po yung ano yung house rules ng hobby shop. So, halimbawa, judge ka ng Whimsy, meron silang self-KO rule na relaunch lang kung self-KO. Tapos pagdating mo sa hobby stadium, wala silang self-KO rule. Siyempre, ang pangit naman kung biglang may i-honor yung self-KO ng hobby stadium players as relaunch. When in reality, wala naman silang rule na ganun. So, as judges, know what are the house rules ng TO nyo. Tapos, players should avoid peeking at the video recording of the match while the judge is reviewing and should only do so when a decision has been made and with the judge's consent. Usually kasi pag natingin yung player, mape-pressure yung judge bigla na, ay tingnan mo kita mo yun aerial yan or whatever. So, dapat mauna yung pagnood mo ng video, then call what you saw. And then saka nyo po ipakita sa players. Tapos, of course, ensure that players shake hands or fist bump at the end of the match. And if may inappropriate behavior silang ginawa, call it out to your head judge to monitor. Tapos, for difficult calls, you can consult your co-judges but do not be influenced by the players or any members of the audience. Be firm with your decision. So, usually, yan lalo na sa mga baguhan na, uy, kita naman sa video ng tropa ko na aerial. Siyempre, hindi nyo i-allow yun kasi hindi nyo naman video yun eh. So, you stick what you saw sa judges cam and consult with your co-judges kung ano yung final call. Huwag kayong magpa-apekto sa audience na nanonood lang kasi kayo yung judge ng laban. And then for players, immediately call out an early or late launch or aerial hit before the match concludes to avoid bias or malicious contests. And then, ideally, all complaints, contests, and clarifications between players and judges must be addressed before the match ends. Judges' result must be firm and respected by the players. Alam kong kaya konti lang yung judges na yon kasi may breko. Natatakot yung mga judges na mabreko. But you have to teach your co-judges na wag matakot sa breko. You're the judge after all. And you just want fair play for both players. So if hindi nagustuhan ni player yung dapat sabihin na niya kaagad habang nasa stadium sila. Kasi usually yun lang naman kasi yung sinasabi sa akin eh. Sir Migs, pwede ba pa-seminar kasi takot ako mabreko? Bakit kayo matatakot mabreko eh? Gusto mo lang naman 'di ba ng fair play for both sides. So, wag kayong madala lang sa breko na ganto ganyan. Again, we're all humans, we all make mistakes. Ang kailangan lang pa natin is accountability and of course, you handle the situation well. Yan. Got more questions here. So, from Scrappy, paano po pag yung nabangga ng isang player yung kamay ng kalaban niya na nakahawak sa launcher? Yan po yung sinasabi ko po kanina sa physical contact. Again, if nagkabanggaan po kayo ng kamay and then goods naman po yung lapag, tuloy lang po. No problem po, okay lang po yun. But if nagkabanggaan kayo na hindi pa po nakakababa yung Beyblade, then call for relaunch lang po. Ayun. But yun, again, for judges and player etiquette, any questions po dito? Feel free to unmute kung may questions kayo or type nyo lang po.
May question po ako.
Yes po.
So, with coaches po, kasi may mga events wherein may coaches yung mga teams. So, how much interference is allowed for a coach to, ano yung tolerable amount ng interference na pwedeng gawin ng coach? Kasi may times na pag kinontest, makagisaw-saw na si coach, or let's say, prior the match, nakatingin na siya sa likod ng camera without the judge noticing. Na-notice na lang niya, patapos na po yung match. Ganun.
For coaching po, I think this is for team battle tournaments. Nasa TO discretion na po siya. Dapat clear din po sa TO and sa players, or sorry, reword ko siya. Dapat clarify na ni tournament organizer yung coaching timing. So, kami dito sa LIPA, sinasabi po agad namin yung timing ng coaching na before pumasok yung player sa play area, dapat 10 seconds coaching lang or 5 seconds coaching. For contest ng if may team battle tournaments na ang captain ay katabi na naman ni player sa play area and then gusto mag-call ni captain ng contest, act as a player lang po na dapat immediately po yung pagtawag if may shooting error or i-contest nyo po yung or kung match validity naman po yung question, halimbawa ano yung nauna, then i-contest nyo po kaagad bago mag-next bay. Again, nakasalalay din po siya kay tournament organizer regarding that specific rule po.
Hello,
Clear,
sir.
clear po.
May question lang po
Yes
ako.
po. Yes
Regarding
po,
po
Sir
kasi
JR.
ngayong maraming nagra-ratchet modification na players. So, sir, paano siya maiiwasan makakapasok sa Swiss rounds na lagi silang nananalo? Kasi usually, sir, nakikita na lang siya, 'di ba, pag deck inspection na sa Top Cut. So, sir, paano kaya natin magagawang hindi sila makalusot sa top cut na usually ginagawa ng player is gagamit ng modified sa Swiss, pagdating sa top cut, gagamit na sila ng regular. Parang ganun ang style nung
Ayun.
nakikita ko sa mga players ngayon, sir.
Opo. Thank you po sa question na yun. That also counts po under tournament organizers discretion po.
Sa
Kasi
discretion.
oo. Kasi syempre, as a tournament organizer, dapat beforehand alam ko na yung yung possibilities na gano'n. So, if you're the tournament organizer po mismo ng community nyo, what I suggest po is i-bay check po bago maglaban ang players.
Okay, sir.
Whether bay check before umapak si player sa stadium or i-check ng judge mismo pagdating ng player sa stadium, doon pa lang po yung pa lang po agad malalaman nyo na po agad kung modified yung ratchet or not.
Okay, sir. So,
So,
discretion
may
ng...
iwasan na po agad
Okay.
siya.
Discretion ng organizer po. Wala po
Yes
siyang
po, discretion.
naka-ground rules for standard na sinusunod po sa ganon. Usually, sir, sa mga...
Ang nakalagay lang po sa regulations is kung modified po, disqualified na po siya.
Okay.
So, yung precautions po to avoid that scenarios, nasa tournament organizer na po.
Okay, sir. Noted, sir. Thank you.
Alright, no problem. Any questions pa po?
Question lang po. Paano kasi may naririnig po kasi ako na bawal daw tumingin ang mga player pag nagre-review si judge sa checking. Tama po ba yun, sir?
Yes po, nakalagay po siya dito sa player etiquette po. Doon po kasi nagkakaroon ng opportunity mag-malicious contest si player. Kumbaga nanggugulo lang habang nagre-review si judge. So as much as possible, pag alam niyong lumalapit bigla yung player sa pag-check niyo ng replay, sabihan niyo agad na huwag tumingin. Kasi siyempre lalo na sa mga bagong judges na tuturuan niyo, baka ma-influence sila ng mga mata-mata ng ibang tao. Ikaw, yung judge po muna ang magbibigay ng result, then if hindi nila gusto yung result, then saka po nila i-contest.
Okay. Follow-up question lang din po. Kasi sir, may
Mhm.
nangyari po kasing situation last time. Si judge nag-call ng good. Tapos si audience bigla sinabi, check mo muna baka aerial. So ginamit po niya yung phone ni audience. Valid po ba yun or invalid? Sabay tinawag niya biglang aerial.
Invalid po kasi dapat judge cam lang po yung masusunod. Again, kayo po yung batas ng laban. Hindi po dapat kayo mag-accept ng kung ano-anong comments or video replays ng ibang tao. Kasi parang ang nangyayari po doon is hindi na po nasusundan yung authority ni judges. Player na lang po ba palagi dapat masusunod? 'Di ba parang ang pangit naman 'yon. Parang ano lang siya, if we look at a actual sport na na perspective, 'di ba parang pangit naman na kasalanan naman talaga ni player kung bakit may nag-traveling siya tapos iko-contest na, "Hindi ano 'yan, check mo lang." 'Di ba? So, if we really want to treat Beyblade as a sport, we really have to view it as a sport din.
Question lang din po.
Yes po.
Regarding kasi, merong situation na nasa top cut na, then lock deck ang situation. Tapos, naging na-forfeit naman yung match. Pero yung pag nagkaroon ulit ng instances na gano'n na si player, knowing na lock deck ang nangyari, ay bigla siya nagpalit ng blade, sabihin natin. Kahit na ibalik niya yung previous blade, considered na rin ba as DQ yun?
That is a tournament organizer discretion po. Pero siyempre, with using common sense pa lang, since lock deck na, bakit papapalitan yung blade? So, since pinalitan na niya, tapos bigla siyang mag-action na, ay hindi, sige, balik ko na lang sa dati. DQ nyo na po yun. Yun. So, pero siyempre kung nagtanong lang naman na, halimbawa, nanalo na ng first round ng top cut, nagtanong na pwede pa po palitan, siyempre hindi nyo naman i-DQ siya. Pero if may intention talaga na papalitan yung parts during lock deck, then you can call them out po. Usually, ang technique po dyan is may compartment sa deck case na may extra bits. So, after manalo ng round 1 ng top cut, habang inaayos yung ratchets ng Beyblades niya bago i-surrender, yun na yung window time niya para palitan yung bits. So, again, like I mentioned earlier, TO discretion po siya. The TO makes the precautions po to avoid anything that may happen. So, as a tournament organizer, since I invited tournament organizers or head judges dito, make sure that the decks doesn't have secret compartments or free from any extra parts sa mga excess spaces niya. And if you really want to go beyond that, i-note nyo sa scratch paper or notepad na si player ito ang gamit, note ko lang para ma-check siya from time to time sa Top Cut. But yun, as a TO din personally, ako ang ginagawa ko is pinapa-remove ko yung mga parts ng mga players na extra sa deck cases before nila i-surrender. If may naiwan na part tapos nanalo sila sa round 1 ng top cut pero hindi pa rin niya pinaltan pero hindi naman niya talaga pinaltan yung parts, I may call that for a disqualification since nagsabi ako na dapat walang extra parts sa compartments. So, yun.
Mag-ensure na clear lahat ng other parts or optional parts yung casing before siya i-provide. Pero yun yung sabi rin ng Armin, possible house rules na lang din siya na pwede siyang i-impose na lang ng POs.
Yes, tama po. So, any chances of cheating po ng mga players, you can already prevent that po as an organizer by announcing it po sa rules ng tournament.
Ako po, may
Alright.
question po.
Yes po, Sergio.
With regards po dun sa launching position, since after mag-pick side, diba, left or right, pag sa extreme stadium tayo.
Mhm.
What if si player ng B side, pumesto na siya kagad dun sa may upper side niya, and then
Mhm.
yung mga attachment niya like battle pass or ano, is overlapping doon sa dulo na side naman ng X. So si player ng X side is uncomfortable siya sa nangyayari kasi hindi niya ma-position yung launcher niya o yung kamay niya properly. Kasi binasa ko rin po yung sa shooting method natin, yung sa left position and right position, extreme. So ano pong pwedeng gawin doon, like pa-remove ba natin yung ano, or pa-remove natin yung attachment na nag-overlap, or parang tayo kayong dalawa then put the ano kayo, pwesto kayo ulit na maayos, gano'n.
So, for that instance, I think it covers dito sa number 4. So, aside sa illustration, what number 4 says is, it is prohibited to interfere with an opponent's launch or stance through your shooting posture. So, under no circumstances may players touch their own body, launcher, the opponent, or the stadium during launch. If may obstruction enters your shooting position and obstructs your launch or stance, you may appeal sa judge. If the interference is confirmed, the judge will require adjustments. So, usually ang basis po kasi ng 50-50 rule nito is kung saan nakapwesto yung Beyblade. So, hindi po counted yung battle pass or yung winder. Ang basis po talaga is yung coverage ng Beyblade na within your specific shooting area. So, but if the player really feels uncomfortable, they are allowed to call for a readjustment sa judge. So, bago pa mag 3, 2, 1 go shoot, dapat si player mag-call agad na hindi siya comfortable. Any contest na after lunch tapos saka siya nagsabi na di ako comfortable sa lunch niya, invalid na po siya since tinanggap po ni player na yun yung initial launch space.
Kasi normally po na observe ko lang is kapag nag-traders ready, may mga nangunguna sa positioning talaga. Like for
Opo.
example, left position ako, doon ako sa pinakadulo ng left side, yung papunta na sa may judge, para
Yeah.
yung battle pass ko or yung grip ko or ano, nakaharang siya sa player na kalabang ko. Gano'n kasi
Oo.
nangyayari. So, puwede naman pala na si player, hindi pa ako komportable kasi nakaharang yung ganito, ganyan niya. So, puwedeng i-reposition na lang sila.
Yes po,
And kapag
tama po.
ano po, kapag si player na nagko-cause nung ano, ng discomfort, hindi talaga siya nagre-reposition, dun na papasok yung puwede natin silang i-ano, yung
I-warning. Yes po.
sa warning, okay.
Yes po. Kasi di po sila nakikinig kay judge. And
Parang
yung
players etiquette na din po siguro papasok na.
yes po. Opo. So, yung understanding ko po kasi sa 50-50 rule ni Takatomi is again, yung pwestuhan ng bay. So, if halimbawa pumesto na si left position player dito sa may arc ng X dash, dapat si player na nasa right position ay mag-a-adjust din accordingly. So, kumbaga from vertical na 50-50, pwede siyang maging horizontal na 50-50. That's just for me. Pero of course, nakadepende naman pa sa head judge kung ano yung gusto niya mangyari. But as long as na 50-50 sila. Ngayon, if the player contest na hindi siya comfortable, then the other player must follow. Pero
May
if hindi
question
naman
lang.
nag-contest, edi tuloy lang. Yes po, ano yan?
Regarding sa positioning, like for example, yung sinabi mo, kung yung orientation hindi na siya vertical.
Mm.
So, bale, sino dapat mag-adjust? Like, both players dapat mag-adjust. Kung yung stance niya is for that launch technique.
Mhm.
So, paano i-call out yun? Like, dapat mag-adjust yung isang player. Hindi ba parang unfair doon sa isa na nag-adjust siya?
Si player, usually ang pinapagawa ko is kung may kakaibang launch technique si player na nasa left position, pinapauna ko siya magpwesto para para si right position player makaisip ng anong ipepwesto niya. As long as ma-follow yung 50-50, okay lang siya.
Bali,
Ngayon,
disregard na natin yung kung kunyari for example, nasa top left yung first player. Siyempre, hindi na nasunod yung parang straight line natin sa Extreme Stadium, di ba? Yung McDo na tinatawag. So, yung second player, dapat parang perpendicular ba na 50-50 yung orientation ng second player para maging 50-50 yung hatian nila.
Pwede po
Okay.
siyang ganun.
Okay.
Though, again, you can still coordinate naman din siya sa fellow co-judges na kakilala nyo. So, kung ano yung understanding nila, you can apply it. Kasi, the shooting areas talaga is very, I guess we can say, controversial. But, if you want a proper standard, dapat, kung ano man yung illustrated lang ni Takara Tomy. So, if si player nandun na sa McDo na nakapwesto, as long as yung Beyblade niya is within their shooting space pa rin, okay lang siya. Si right player naman, bahala na siya kung paano siya magla-launch. Basta si left position player, doon daw siya magla-launch.
Sige.
So, parang mutual agreement na lang.
May instance kasi sa amin na may nagpi-flick pag nagla-launch. May specific rule ba? Like for example, kasi parang na-force yung issue ng Beyblade papunta sa kalaban. Kumbaga, hindi siya makikita kasi sa pag 3-2-1 go shoot eh. Yung parang positioning. Minsan kasi pagka-flick, tumatagos
Nalipat na.
sa na-expose yung 50. Ano yung sigurong as a judge, ikaw ba magko-call nun or yung player magko-call nun?
Ang kinocall lang kasi ni Takara Tomy is shoot position. So, wala siyang chine-check kung saan lalapag si Beyblade. As long as the starting shoot position is tama naman, nasa 50-50 naman, regardless if isasargo ba ni player left yung Beyblade niya or if i-flick ni right player yung Beyblade niya, as long as they started within the 50-50 na space, then okay lang po siya.
Okay. Sige.
So, ang next na lang po mangyayari dyan is nag-aerial ba or nagkatamaan, 'di ba? So, ayun. Yun lang naman. So, again, yung parang sinabi ko lang din po kanina earlier, kung ano man po yung sinasabi ni regulations, yun lang po yung mafa-follow natin. So, since shoot position lang po yung sinabi ni regulations, edi shoot position lang po.
Sir, another question po ulit.
Okay, go.
Apo. Kunwari po, during the match, second round, then Aero Pegasus, nag-aerial siya, tapos nabasag si Aero. So, wala pong makapagpahiram ng Aero sa venue. So, ano pong magiging ano ng laban, sir?
So, yan po ay magfo-fall under PO discretion na po. Kasi it depends po talaga per community. May mga communities po na sige, restart yung laban, palit ka ng blade, back to zero kayo, bato-bato pick ulit kayo.
Okay.
Pero ang pinakatama na gawin doon is wala. Hanggang wala pang panalo doon sa laban na yon, gagamitin niya pa rin si nasirang Beyblade. So, since nasira si Aero, 1 point na, under penalty, si player na hindi naka-Aero,
Mhm.
and then during
Hello?
shuffle,
Mhm.
and so, again, TO's discretion, pero ang pinaka-safe pa doon is stick pa rin sa deck, pero 1 point na sa kalaban.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. No problem. Then Ellis, paano yung baka gamitin ng opponent yung tactics na contest ng contest sa positioning para ma-warningan yung kalaban? Genuine question. So, as a judge, mararamdaman nyo naman yun na tactic ng kalaban na nagre-reklamo palagi. As a judge, ikaw na mismo magpwesto ng mga kamay nila. You have the authority to do that. Kasi, again, the judges just want a fair play for both.
And my
So,
house rules, and everyone agreed with it.
ano pa yun? Sorry.
Yung ref, yung ref!
Ayun. So again, to answer Sir Ellis' question, you dictate kung ano dapat pwesto ng mga players kung napapansin nyo na hindi na appropriate yung tactics ni opponent. Clear po ba, Sir Ellis? Ayun. So any other questions po? Yes po.
Sorry, I have a question. So what if yung guy is very, very big
Mhm.
and then naharangan na niya yung ano tawag ito?
Yung
Yung
player.
POV ng judge.
Mhm.
Do we position sa in another way or paano natin makikita? Kasi minsan may player sobrang laki niya, harang yung malaking kamay niya. Hindi na natin nakikita if tumatama ba yung Beyblade dun sa mismong stadium or tumatama ba yung Beyblade dun sa or yung kamay niya sa stadium mismo.
Mhm.
Do we position in another way sa siguro sa may extreme stage, sa may extreme side?
The answer to that po is yes. Yung judge po yung manually po mag-adjust. So whether pa side view na po yung diagonal na po yung camera, halimbawa sa illustration dito, if your camera is nasa extreme line and naharangan na po yung camera nyo, pwede naman po kayo mag-adjust to the left or to the right or to the other side. Yung judge po talaga yung mag-a-adjust.
Okay, thank you.
Alright. So, any other last questions po? I guess I can answer 2 more or one more.
Hello,
May question
po. Sorry.
Yes po, Bad Miko.
Thank you. So may ano po, opportunity doon sa yung dalawang bladers launch position nila 50-50 naman pero yung attachment kasi yung battle pass nagpo-protrude sa 50-50. Ngayon, in a way, obstruct siya dun sa other player. So ang question doon is, let's say ayaw talaga mag-adjust kahit na talagang may maano mo na babangga talaga. Can the judge request na patanggal yung battle pass? Kasi parang sorry just to share, itong particular blader na to, dalawa battle pass niya. So pag nagsiswitch siya to the left launcher for CDG, may battle pass din siya. So parang ano lang, parang it might be just a burning suspicion, pero ano parang in a way, pag tournament kasi, linalagay niya yung battle pass, pero pag yung playtest lang, tinatanggal niya. So parang it defeats the purpose personally. So ang question nun is, can the judge call to have the battle pass removed if they feel na it's obstructing the other player's launch position?
Ayun, thank you po sa question na yun. It answers here sa shooting method number 3. Generally, players must prepare to shoot only when part of their Beyblade is within their chosen shoot position. However, this rule does not apply if the judge determines that neither player's shooting stance interferes with the opponent's launch or preparation. So by preparation is yung pagpwesto. If you feel na talagang nananadya si player, you can ask them to remove the battle pass. Pero yung common talaga dyan is, yung talagang actual rule dyan is whether or not naka-battle pass si player or not, as long as yung bay position is within the 50-50, tuloy lang yung laban. But if you really think na talagang nananadya si player na through obstruction yung paggamit niya ng battle pass, you can call it out and ask the player to remove it po.
Thank you.
Alright, no problem po. Last one question po.
Question lang regarding din sa shooting position. Kasi madalas kasi nakikita yung or B side and X side yung sa taas yung kamay sa nasa baba. Pero there are some instances na gusto pareho dun sila sa upper part magla-launch. And dun sa picture kasi kapag yung nakikita sa role ni Takara Tomy, medyo nagpo-protrude diba dun sa gitna yung dulo lang. So paano magiging ruling pag gusto nila pareho sila sa taas? Is it allowable ba?
Allowable siya dahil yun ang gusto ng player, and as long as nakikita nyo na hindi naman obstruction yun for both players. Lalo na kung si player left and player right naman ay okay lang sa ganong position. If yun ang gusto nila, then tuloy po yung pagbilang. Pero halimbawa nakakailang relaunch na kayo, doon pa rin yung pwesto nila. Siguro sabihin na natin pang 10 relaunch na yon, you can ask them na mag-adjust na. Kasi hanggang pinipilit po nila na ganun yung position at same lang yung result, you can ask them to rearrange na po.
Thank you.
Alright. So yun. So I guess that's it for now. I can still accommodate any questions. Siguro you can use yung general chat. But for now, thank you everyone for your time in attending the first Judge Like a Pro session for this month. So my DMs are open dito sa Discord and on Facebook. Alam niyo naman siguro yung Facebook account ko. But yeah, thank you everyone. And of course, at the end of the presentation, meron tayong quiz. So, unlimited retakes, pass the exam with 100% to become certified. And then may certificates pong kami ipro-provide maybe after PBBL na po. So, yung link pa is nasa same presentation. So, after you orient your co-judges, you can provide them the link so that they can also answer. And ayun, thank you guys so much for your time. Time check is 8:55, so almost 2 hours na session. I hope I get to answer your questions well, and hopefully I can invite more head judges sa Discord. Currently kasi yung ibang head judges na kakilala ko like Zyrus or Sir Oliver Marcelo, kung kilala nyo sila. Di sila available at this time. But I'll try to invite them over Discord para makasagot din ng other questions. But if not, I'll just send your questions right sa kanila. Yeah. So again, thank you guys so much. and I hope you have a great evening. Pwede na po kayo hindi umattend next week, but again, I'm still open for any questions or clarifications. Thank you guys.
Thank you, Boss
Thank you
Migs.
po.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you po.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you po.
Salamat.
Thank you po.
Thank you po. Thank you po.
Thank you po.